I know that we talk about, hey, Trey Lance will be the starter if he's going to be ready, right? And
Yes.
what exactly do we think ready means here? And there are a few things that I was thinking about. The first one is he needs to get the playbook down. So, in other
Yep.
words, you cannot have Shanahan have a compressed playbook. Remember when we talked about when Jimmy came in, he had this smaller version of the playbook because Jimmy had just a month to get it down. So, the number one thing is he needs to understand the playbook, and everything that we have heard so far, we believe that he can get the playbook down pretty quick, pretty fast, right? He's supposed to be super smart. So
Yeah.
that's number one. Assuming that that is down, he's good from that perspective. Now, the second thing that we need is for him to uh, essentially get the execution down, right? Like again,
Mhm.
as he's like working through in the practice, and again, everything that we have heard so far, I mean, Jimmy G is not super good in the practice, right? And
Right.
if you put those two together, the only last thing that is remaining for him is to get actual game day experience. And how are you going to get the game day experience? Like unless you actually go out and play there. So I think if you put all of these together, and I was listening to one of the I think podcast a while before the draft from his quarterback coach Quincy Avery. During his
Yes.
offseason, they were preparing him for an NFL schedule. Like so it means he had uh, like Tuesdays like breaking down the film, like Wednesdays like install, and then Fridays red zone offense. And they were literally training him for real NFL practice and real
Mhm.
NFL game day.
Mhm.
So that's what I feel is he's going to be ready to go day one, the first week of NFL, and he's going to be the starter.
Look, I put a $50 bottle of wine on this too. I hope
Yeah.
that you're right, and I think that I see the same thing too. Jimmy Garoppolo is not that good. He's not that good in practice. Only thing is, Shanahan has been able to prop him up statistically. When he plays in
Mhm.
games, usually his numbers are okay or better than that, and he usually wins. So if the only thing with Trey Lance is Kyle Shanahan has to determine if he can do the same thing with Lance right away. If Lance comes
Correct.
in and his numbers are terrible and he's not winning, it's going to be a scandal because at least Jimmy can do those things. So it seems like it shouldn't be a
Correct.
problem with Lance. He's very talented. It's a very good team. It shouldn't be a problem.
Correct. And the other thing is like playing under the center, right? That could be another reason why rookie quarterbacks are not ready because they don't play in the center. Lance doesn't have that issue as well. So he doesn't have playbook issue, doesn't have playing under the center issue. All he needs is playing time, and the only way to get him is like put him out there in week one. The
Do you think
flip
it's
side of
smart
it,
that Kyle's saying right now, just taking the pressure off him now, being like, look, it's not a
yeah,
competition yet. It's
exactly,
May. Yeah.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's like right
Yeah.
now he's just doing. And if you look at it from Kyle's perspective, and I feel that sometimes we are losing track of this. It's entire off season. If you think about Kyle, the way he has talked, it's like he's ready to move on from Jimmy, right? And I know that in the last like week or so, he's been trying to soften that a little bit. But the entire offseason, every action, every move has been about moving on from Jimmy. And what I feel is, even if you look at it from a different perspective, it's just bad business to keep Jimmy at $25 million, right? I mean, it just doesn't make sense at all because it's not just about JDR coming and saying, "Hey, we can afford it, we can put it in the salary cap." It means that you're taking that money away from some other players, right? Because
Right.
ultimately, it's going to
Other
hit your
positions. Yeah.
other positions. It's going to hit your
Yeah.
cap. Why would
Your
you?
team isn't as good as it could have been if you'd spent that money elsewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is. I think from that perspective, also, it doesn't doesn't make
It's
any
a waste.
sense.
It's a waste.
It's a total waste, and I
Yeah.
feel I think either before the game start, and imagine if they put Jimmy out there and he gets hurt again, it's going to be that you're just losing them all that money because now at that point you cannot do anything,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, maybe he's not getting some of his game shots, but it's you get the injury guarantee for him, and it just
So what do
doesn't
you want to do
happen.
with Jimmy?
So I would say he gets traded somewhere during the training camp before at least the game day one, or if they cannot do that and Jimmy agrees to it, they renegotiate his contract and make it more a
Yeah.
backup money, 1 year,
Yeah.
$10 million, and
I just
and
don't see
essentially
who wants to trade for that contract. Not that player, but
exactly.
that contract. But Chicago wants
Yeah,
that contract. They now have Justin Fields. Why do they want that contract? How does that help them?
exactly.
For the same reason
Exactly.
the Niners don't want it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And here is one other a little bit of a speculation conspiracy theory. Do you think
Sure.
Jimmy is in Kyle's doghouse? Sometimes I feel that I know that going back to last year, we talk about, hey, Jimmy didn't come back to play those last 2, 3 games. I
Yes.
think if it was Jimmy who was the problem, the players would not be supporting him so much, right? Sometimes I almost feel that Jimmy was actually in Cal's doghouse, and we know
Like,
what
get
that
out of
means,
here.
right?
Hey, get out of here. We
Once,
don't want you. You're done. Yeah. You're done
yeah,
in San
done.
Francisco. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and I feel that that is probably, and here is another speculation. I know that that Monday press conference when they were all so, when Kyle was like so furious, we all think
Yeah.
that, hey, it was because he didn't get to pick Mac Jones. But thinking about it, I feel that it could very well be that they were about to trade Jimmy for some peanuts, and
Which is what he
the
wants.
which is what he wants,
Yeah.
and John Lynch would have said, like, convinced him, no, you cannot do that. Like, we got to keep
No.
Jimmy, we got to keep
Yeah.
Jimmy. So because everything else, it seemed like he was frustrated
Right.
more about Jimmy
It's
in
true.
that
The
press
anger
conference.
was directed at Jimmy, one,
Yeah,
and the fans. The fans.
exactly.
His two messages were Jimmy might be dead in a few days, and the fans need to leave me the hell alone at the soccer games. I love that. It's
Correct.
classic.
Correct.
Classic.
Correct. Exactly. So I think, yeah, it feels like so difficult that Jimmy is going to be there in the roster, but we'll see. Like, I mean, as long as Lance comes and does everything that he's supposed to do, I think they're
Yeah.
moving on from Jimmy. And the other thing is, right after that is when Denver they finalized the Teddy Bridge deal as well. So I almost feel
Mhm.
that we were ready to ship him to Denver for maybe a low round pick, and
Yep.
then John Lynch probably convinced him, "Hey, Jimmy is more valuable to us. You got to keep him, etc." So
But I mean, I can see from Kyle's perspective, if you want to trade Jimmy, the best time to do it is before the draft, before all these teams that need quarterbacks get quarterbacks, because now Chicago's out,
yeah,
New England's out. I'm thinking.
exactly.
I mean, it's just I don't even know if there's any. So Lynch could be like, "Hey, we get to keep him because we have to keep him. There's nowhere to send him."
Correct.
I think the renegotiation one is what's going to happen. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, Sai. Thanks so much.
All right.
Good to
Thanks.
see you.
Thanks, man. Take
Take
care.
care.